All right, stand by, going live on video and going live on audio. All right, good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So this evening I'm bringing on, yes, once again, yet another new co-host for our show. And we got some new talent, some new blood. And we're actually dialing in remote to Syracuse, New York, to give you guys a little locality, that whole upstate New York region. They're a little colder right now. I just got back from there last week, and it was a little chilly and a few snow flurries. They haven't really kicked into the full lake effect snow yet, but then again, I haven't been up there this week, so we may find out what's going on up there. But let me tell you who you guys are going to meet, okay? This gentleman is coming Together Now. We're going to get into what that means, all right? Together Now Incorporated. He's got an extensive background in dealing with clients and building networks throughout the community, okay? He's currently working on getting his bachelor's at Moyne Moyne University, Moyne College. We'll get into that too. For marketing, that's why he and I end up connecting, geeking out a little bit, and is a hardcore dedicated student, okay? Because again, this podcast, Gen X, giving back to the millennial and the Z generation, yada, yada, yada. So he's hustling through school right now, and I've been there myself, and we're going to talk about that. But prior to Moyne, he spent 6 years in the manufacturing industry. He's held positions from shipping to receiving to a buyer, ended his career as a manufacturing manager. So at a young age, he's already gotten around the block. Again, another reason why he and I connected. We're vibing on this. And as a buyer and a manufacturing manager, he developed key skills to communicate with vendors, review contracts, negotiate deals. So yeah, this sounds like a resume, but I think these are valuable lessons learned that he's going to be able to get back to you on today's episode. So this experience led him to be very good at networking with companies and building a clientele list, developing relationships with his colleagues. So he's the perfect fit for a director in development position, which is kind of funny because that's how he and I connected, right? He's actually directing and leading a not-for-profit, which we're going to talk about today. So without further ado, Jonathan Clark, sir, welcome to the show.
Scott, pleasure having me. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you as well at the Loft.
Yeah, man. We yeah. Real quick to the listeners, I travel a lot. Okay, for the transparency of the show, I got to meet Jonathan because I've never stayed in a loft. It's actually pronounced a loft, right? Not a loft. So
I pronounce it a loft. Yeah.
Yeah.
A-loft.
Okay. So a loft is this. I don't know, cool, trendy, hip hotel thing going on. I don't know how you would describe it. That's how I'm going to go with it. But I saw it being built in Syracuse. I pass through there at least once a month. And I hopped on hotels.com. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to drop in there tonight. And now I'm a huge fan. And I think I want to stay there. And I believe now the brand's owned by Marriott, right?
Yeah, Marriott and SPG. Yep.
And you're rocking the bar. Again, you're a hustling, entrepreneurial-minded, marketing, educational student, hustling in the bartending life where I used to play when I was younger as well. Okay, I rocked the bartending life. One of my most favorite jobs ever, mind you. And actually, the end of your bio here, I wanted to quickly share for our listeners was besides being a bartender and a student and a guy who's working with a not-for-profit that he helped create, but you left a tagline here, okay? Set goals for yourself, stick to pursuing those goals every day. Embrace change, network, always believe in your own potential. And you closed out with, you hope to get your degree, which you already know you're getting that now because that's what you and I talked about at the bar, and to continue building that network and develop relationships with your community. And that's why I told you right then and there, I'm like, dude, you need to get on the show. I want to help you do all those freaking goals in one simple episode.
There it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm glad you seized the day, man. You carpe diem the shit out of it, and you're already on. It's 1 week later, and you're already on the show. I mean, now granted, I'm not going to release this episode for a couple of weeks. So for the people who are actually finally hearing this, we're recording this on December 20th, and I do believe I met you. It was literally a week ago today, I think. Wasn't it Wednesday night?
Yeah.
I think it was the 13th.
It was Wednesday night. It was trivia night at the Loft. I wasn't even supposed to be working, and I picked up a shift for somebody, and there it happens.
There you go.
That was it.
So, okay. So let's catch our listeners up, man. How many podcasts have you been on?
You're popping my cherry. So this is my first ever one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Because by the way, I've used that term Multiple times. You're not the first, okay? I've popped many cherries.
I don't know how I feel about that.
On this podcast show. And it's been a mix of men and women. So I try and spread that love a little bit. So, okay. We geeked out a little bit at the bar. I definitely racked up a nice couple of rounds, which I don't normally do. I'm a crazy health nut, and it just, you know what? It was such a crazy week of travel. I had to drive through freaking snow from Albany, New York, just to get to your hotel, which was always a blast. All right, the whiteout effect on I-90. Let's be real.
Done that multiple times. So
yeah, right. Isn't this such a great time?
Yeah, it's a blast. Yeah. Every time
I'm not worried about me. It's all the other yak slaw, whatever the hell you want to call them. Like they're like rubbernecking around in a whiteout condition. I'm like, look straight ahead and focus on where you're going with your car.
Yeah, don't pass on the left-hand side. Just keep going. Just try to get to your destination, right?
So let's dig in, man. All right. I loved your energy. I loved where you were going. And again, obviously I hint I want to get back, man. I'm like, I love this, man. I gotta hook this guy up. I gotta help get his brand out there. This whole Unplugged CNY, which is again to our listeners, guys, they're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Unplugged CNY. We'll do some screen sharing on this episode. But before we get into that, like, what made you carpe diem, so to speak, seize the day, and actually follow through and get on this freaking show? Because just because I told you should do it doesn't mean that everybody does this, right? There's a behavioral thing going on here, and I just wanted to hear what happened in your head and what made you finally follow through and just make it happen.
It's simple. For me, it's all about networking. It's all about understanding that you can meet people in public, you can meet people at private events, but even if you meet them, you have to follow up. And I've taught in multiple, directions, and I've always looked at life in a way where I just want to talk to people and I just want to meet them. And when I met you, you told me about your podcast. I was like, hell yeah, I'll do the podcast. Like, what's it going to hurt? I have a product that I want to get out there, and I want to at least market this product, and I want people to know my passion behind this product. And I figured, how is a good way to do that? And there you are at my bar. You give me a card. You're like, hey, go on my website, check the schedule, plan yourself on the schedule. And I was like, all right, done. Yeah. The next day I did it. I emailed you, and I'm all about follow-up. And I feel like if you network, people are going to forget 95% of the conversations that they have. So you have
good point.
Right away, early on, so they understand who you are and they understand that you're actually passionate about what you guys talked about.
Well, so interesting point on this. Number one, you just mic drop the shit out of this episode already by helping the listeners understand the value and the power of following up. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
I've been in sales for many, many years as a marketing and sales professional. The average sales process, to go by the book, well, actually there is no book. Honestly, there's no freaking book. Okay. It could take from 5 follow-ups to 12 to 15 follow-ups to close a deal or close a relationship, or I guess achieve whatever goal you wanted to get out of that transaction. It doesn't always have to be a monetary value or a consumption of a product or service. Let's be real. Networking. The difference is who's actually going to step up, who's actually going to follow up. So I just want to make sure I gave you credit from the beginning, man. You're already getting it. And maybe that's your schooling. Maybe that's what you've already done. Actually, go ahead. Can you define that, man? Like, what do you think actually instilled you the value of following up?
I think it started when I was a buyer in a manufacturing company that I was unfamiliar with. I had multiple salespeople contact me, and they all sent me products, and they said, hey, we want to sell to you. And I remember this specific one example, and I won't mention a company name because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but this salesperson came into my office and said, hey, I'm going to follow up with you. And I said, okay, great. I'm actually interested in talking to you and buying product from you. And at that point, it was probably one of my top 5 vendors. It's actually a cardboard distributor. They actually made, the cardboard for us, and they would do the boxes for us.
That's a huge freaking market, by the way.
It was big. Like, it was probably about 10% of my overall spendings that I would spend on that company. And I asked him, I said, well, after the meeting, I said, all right, follow up on me a week, in 2 days, send me your information. And the guy didn't. 3-4 days go by. I don't hear from the guy. 5-6 days go by. I don't hear from the guy. Finally, a week and a half later, I hear from him, hey, Jonathan, here's my product listing. Here's my pricing. And I sent, at that moment, I kind of had an epiphany, and I looked at my, my to-do list, and I said, okay, this guy went from being number one on my to-do list because I want to outsource this, vendor, because we're having bad ties with the vendors that we have now. But things just go back, and things get pushed forward. And he dropped from number one to number 15. Mm. And at that point, I realized to myself that if I were ever to commit my word to anybody, I would follow up within 24 to 48 hours. And the reason why is all about getting them to understand how passionate you are or how much you respect them. And I understand.
Or even outside of respect, right? Like it just could be, hey, I'm serious, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, yes, I agree with you. The power of respect, totally. And this even goes back to like old school shit. Like I was brought up like, hey man, you got to be a man of your word, which is totally valid. Like, I mean, depending on your upbringing and where you come from, and obviously, et cetera. But I mean, everybody. I think you and I talked about this too that night. Like everybody's got different upbringings. Not all of us are guided or coached in the right way through our childhood. So hopefully you learn about this in business, which clearly you did. Which is, guys, like, dude, just show respect to that relationship you just made, and even if it doesn't go anywhere. Be a man of your word or woman of your word,
right?
And follow up. You said you were going to do it. So here's the best part. You already laid the stage. All you got to do is call or send an email to complete the transaction of your commitment of, hey, I'm going to at least follow up. Even if I think it's not going to go anywhere, I said I was going to follow up. Just freaking follow up.
or just kind of, like you said, it's not about the respect level. It's more about like, how much do you have on your plate? So At that point, I would analyze my vendors. I'd analyze the people that came to me, and I would look at it and say, all right, they said that they're going to send me a new product list, blah, blah, blah. They're going to follow up. But those people that didn't follow up, I found out quickly that their product was always shit. That's it. So
they didn't even believe in their product. They did not believe in their product.
Well, it's not that. It's their on-time delivery, the quality of their product, and the customer service all went to negative fields. And the reason why I think, and a lot of people doubt me for this, and I've taught other people this, is that they didn't abide by what they said they were going to do. And for me as a buyer, I know this isn't about buying, but for me as a buyer, it's all about understanding what you offer the customer and the end user, and then providing that service. It's just like politics. You say you're going to do something in your political campaign, then you have to do that. And that's what people are selling. That's what people are buying you for.
I like how you connected to politics, because I was actually
I don't talk about politics that much. Bro.
No, and neither do I. But it's totally true, right? Like, listen, if you say you're going to do something,
just do it.
Do it. Right. And if you don't think you can actually do it, then don't freaking say it. It's not. This isn't rocket science. Like, we're not. I feel like some people hear like, man, they're breaking some atoms over there, man. I'm like, no, dude. Like, this isn't rocket science. Like, if you know deep down you can't pull that shit off, don't even say it. But I get it. Everybody's like, you don't know politics, man. Like, you gotta motivate and inspire people that you're capable of doing something. But then I always respond back. I'm like, okay, but can you actually do it? Because now you're just you're setting a stage for you to become a liar.
Right, exactly.
And resorting this back to the buyer relationships, like that business trip I was on is my biggest contract, right? I talked to you about this, where they're in the HVAC sector. Yep. And most of my meetings are with buyers. Mm-hmm. These are wholesale operations that deal direct to these manufacturer relationships. And I'm backfilling in the upstate New York territory to help my client because they don't have a sales rep in that area. So I'm literally doing all the business development for them and meeting with the buyers for them on their behalf. I'm building those relationships and helping them gain possibly new contracts and new business for her manufacturer contracts. And so most of my meetings were buyers. And it's like, dude, if you say you're going to be there at a certain time, for example, and let's be real, shit hits the fan. You want to become a time management person and plan accordingly, but shit hits the fan, right, man? Snowstorm. If you're going to be late, call.
Email.
Or shoot an email like, yo, dude, I'm shooting you an email from a rest stop on I-90. I'm going to connect to your neck of the woods, right? Like, I'm between Albany and Syracuse. My GPS says I'm about 15 minutes out, but because of the snow, I'm going to add a 10-minute buffer. Like, proactivity, especially if you know you're going to be late from your originally scheduled time. Goes back to what you just said, respect.
Mm-hmm.
Show respect to the person you're going to talk to, that you're going to meet. And this goes way beyond business, man. Like, I'm sure thanks to those jobs and those positions, can you relate this to school, your professors, hell, romance, relationships, whatever? I can't tell you how many girls have told me like, oh my God, you opened the door.
I can't, yeah.
And like, yeah, what's your point? And like,
Right.
Guys don't do that. I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, that's all I had to do?
That's it.
I mean, granted, that does not connect to what I was just saying on the whole, okay,
Yeah,
if you say you're going to do something, do it. But do you know how valuable that is nowadays? And granted, I now have a fiance probably because of that, because I'm not perfect. But if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And she knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's he, she, shim, whatever, I don't care. In life, if you can't back up what you're going to do, then don't commit to it. And even if shit hits the fan, you know it's going to break your commitment, follow up and at least let them know that, hey, there's a problem and I'm going to do whatever I can to heal it, fix it, get there late, whatever. But give them at least the respect of calling, emailing, etc. So,
absolutely.
And again, we're probably dwelling a lot on this versus what we're going to talk about today with your charity and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Dude, we just dropped like a serious bomb that connects to business, education, life, romance. I mean, I think we're hitting on all cylinders right now. I'm kind of fired up about this.
I think following up is like the biggest thing that you can do, you know, and like you said, not to, you know, keep a lot of attention on this, but
it applies to everything.
It applies to everything. Like, you know, I went on a date tonight and that girl texted me nonstop asking me like, hey, what are we going to do? What's the plan? And that was a respect thing for me, because I'm like, all right, this game doesn't happen in a lot of days right now. And this kind of actually ties into Unplugged CNY.
Do you think she was testing you?
Yeah, I think a little bit, but you know,
the repetitiveness of the texting,
right? Like, yeah, what's your plan? But I also think certain women, they rely on men to make decisions because they want to see if that guy can make a decision.
And hold on, so be fair, to not correct you, but modify what you just said.
Yeah.
She's not relying on you to make the decision. She's evaluating on whether or not you can make a decision. Right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
As well. Yeah.
Because he's like, let's be real. Like my fiance, she admits like she doesn't want to make a decision. She can make it. Yeah. She can make it without me. She's an adult.
Yeah.
She went to freaking Cornell University and then finished her doctorate at UPenn in veterinary medicine. I've got a smart girl. I'm not worried about her intelligence.
Yeah.
But she's got so much busy running her business and figuring life out and shit like that. Or today with our iPhone having a heart attack, like thousands of other people around the world thanks to that new iOS update. I'm not sure if you're up on that or not.
That's what she texted me. I didn't do it yet.
Everybody's like shitting their pants because the latest iOS update like gave everybody's phone a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, that's why I wait.
Quick pause on life. Thank you. Okay, let's quick pause on this. My little best practice is I wait at least 30 to 60 days before I ever accept an iOS update. I turn off all the automatic updates because Apple has proven they're going to test just enough to get that release. And then they're going to see what's going to happen in that first week when shit hits the fan.
They want to see the bugs.
Right.
They want to fix the bugs.
And then they justify it by saying, well, listen, we never told you there's not going to be bugs and we need you to find the bugs for us. And I'm like, no.
I'll let other people find the bugs for me. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be the guinea pig on that. So
yeah. So granted, right now on this podcast, we're literally telling you guys how to hack this. It's really simple. You turn off automatic updates, and even though the Apple software in the settings is telling you, "Please update me now," you tell it to piss off.
You ignore
because you don't want to be that current case study happening right now on December 20th at 9:00 p.m. This has been going on all day. I got friends of mine like, oh my God, my phone doesn't recognize a SIM card. I can't make phone calls. I can't send texts. My phone literally shut down. Like there's all kinds of crap happening. And I'm just sitting here laughing my ass off. I've held back. I was actually going to do a Facebook Live and just make fun of the world. But I was like,
yeah, be careful with that. No,
I know. But, you know, I don't care though. I just don't care. Right. But it's like, I actually think I'm like, man, that would so go viral because I would sit there and rip on everybody, including my friends and family, because I'm like, guys, this is really, really not that hard. You just turn off automatic updates.
Right.
And then you watch everybody else have a heart attack like I do. and then you sit back like I'm currently doing with you right now and enjoying a great glass of wine.
Cheers.
By the way, hold on.
Cheers.
Ariel, cheers. Cheers. There we go.
Cheers.
Because clearly you get it as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, what we got here? I'm 40. What's your age?
28.
Boom.
28.
Not the age matters, but
No.
perfect example here.
Age
You're
is
28.
mind over matter.
I'm 40. And we both understand the value of, great, we love Apple. You're a multi-million, billion, borderline $1 trillion company. And we don't trust you. This isn't rocket science.
I'm using Apple headphones. I'm on my MacBook. My iPhone's to the left of me.
iPhone's right here.
It happens, Yep. Sometimes a business, and it kind of ties back into everything we were talking about. Is like the business, they test you and they want to see where the flaws are so they can improve. Yep. And that's why open innovation is a whole nother ballgame. But open innovation is such a huge wave that's going on right now because people want to hear from outsiders to see where they struggle and how they can improve. So
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So all right, so we've definitely immersed deeply into the value of following up. We even touched a little bit on some date romance. By the way, to our listeners, guys, okay, John's so hardcore for you guys tonight that he bailed on his date. Am I wrong on this? Maybe not bailed. You were already on the date.
I gave her a heads up.
You completed the date.
I gave her a heads up. Yeah, I gave her a heads up.
Did you tell her ahead of time that you had a special event tonight?
Yeah, I told her I was doing a podcast, and
did she actually know what you were talking about?
A lot of people don't know what podcasts are.
Right. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I explained it to her and, it went in the direction where she said, yeah, that's fine, and that's a good thing. So
no, I got to know, did you milk it a little bit? Listen, I'm not saying, I don't think you're the kind of guy listen, I'm kind of a big deal. I mean, I'm going, okay, I got this thing. I got to go co-host a podcast. So we got to cut this date short. So let's go ahead and do the whole mall thing. And then I got to go. I don't know. It wasn't like that, I'm guessing.
No, it was more like, hey, I got a meeting. I got something to do after, right around 8:00. So, we'll meet at 5. We'll hang out, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, you had a 3-hour date?
Yeah.
Dude, you're good. You're good. You're good.
That's actually the time limit. So.
I think you need to do more podcasts.
Maybe
that ensures you constrict your date allowance window, and it keeps you busy.
Short, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to over deliver too early, because that was the first date, right?
Yeah, you got to under promise, over deliver. So, yeah.
And kudos to you for setting the stage. Okay, there's some people who don't do that. They'll blindside her at the end of the date, and then you kind of look like a douche. And there's a lot of douches out there. So
I try to be just an honest person and try to put myself out there and, and be
and don't lose that, dude.
Very blunt. I'm a blunt person, Yeah. So.
All right. And don't lose that, because people will take advantage of that, or people will actually try and exploit that. And don't ever let that jade you, because that just also, number one, helps you see their true colors and helps you realize who you want to surround yourself with, or who do you want to spend your romantic time with. And that's why I tell people, dude, honesty truly is the best damn policy. You can't beat it. Once you finally start embracing it, which I started doing years ago, I mean, it sounds like you're already doing it. Now, granted, I get it. There's some tack, right? You want to be, there's a right and wrong time to be overly honest. But in the end, it's okay, well, you can't knock me for being honest.
They can't fault you for it. So
I'm never going to bullshit you. I tell you how it is. I mean, look at Howard Stern. That guy doesn't bullshit anybody. He's the shock jock. So
nice.
That guy's viral online. I don't know if you follow Howard Stern or not, but
I used to watch it with my dad all the time. So
okay, there you go.
Yeah, Howard Stern's. He's the man.
Oh, actually, when I launched this show, I installed this microphone that you can see on the video, and this is before I had this whole setup done. And my buddy brought his audio engineer to my house here to help us figure this all out. We had a couple different microphones. And we did a couple test recordings, set everything, all the audio files out. We start playing them back. And we fire this puppy up. And that's exactly who he brought up. He's like, dude, you have a good chance with the podcast. And I was like, why? He's like, you kind of sound like a hybrid between Barry Manilow and Howard Stern. And I was like, well, if you're actually not blowing smoke up my ass right now, I was like, that sounds really good. Okay, I might have to keep going with this. So anyway, we brought up Howard Stern. I was like, I got to geek out about that. I was really like excited about it. So it's funny what excites us. So, but listen, perfect segue.
Yeah.
Excitement, right? Besides the fact that you clearly for 20, late 20s, already hustling, already got some good wisdom to share. Adult student, hustling, getting after it, finishing the degree. You graduate when?
I actually graduated last week.
Boom. Okay, so that's right. You did finish last week. So congratulations. Hold on.
Thank
Ariel,
you
cheers again.
Yeah.
Cheers, sir.
Yeah.
Webcam, the webcam. Boom. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, right?
It's an unbelievable feeling.
It's like a giant, like Sharpie fat marker checkbox on life. So,
absolutely. Yeah. It's one of the biggest weights on your shoulder just gets lifted off. And that's just how it feels.
And you've been at it for a while.
It's been 7 years. Yeah, it's been 6 or 7 years that I've been going to school. I've been doing.
I thought you only said 6 on at the bar. So is it closer to 7?
It's like 6.5.
Okay, we'll go 6+. We'll go 6+.
6+, yeah.
Then again, you might want to go 7 because you got lucky 7. I don't know. I'm not a gambler.
So. Technically, it's 7 because I started my college career at SNHU in New Hampshire. I took one class. Then I left that class, and then I moved to Pennsylvania. Took 7 months off, and then I started back up in January of 2012.
So funny we're talking about this.
7, but.
Right before you came on, I had on Henry Kaminsky, big online marketing guy. He's literally done projects for like John Bon Jovi, all kinds of shit. Nice. And so we were recording with him, and he's like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "Allentown, Pennsylvania." And it was kind of like you and I at the bar. He's like, "No shit." He's like, "I went to college at Kutztown." And I was like, that's kind of funny. It's like a bartender I met last week said he used to live down here in like Lancaster County area and stuff. I was like, and I'm going to record with him after I get done with you. So we were having a funny full circle. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Pennsylvania can be more exciting than most of us think. There are a few things happening down here.
There are a few things. Yeah. Nice weather too. So you don't have to deal with the snow as much.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It did warm up this week. Last week was freaking cold, just like where it was in Syracuse. So, but listen, talk about creation, right? And talk about all the shit you've learned. Let's get into it, man. Unplugged CNY. Okay. So since it ends in Y, why are we talking about it? Why should our listeners care? Which I care. That's why I brought you on.
Yeah.
Unplugged CNY. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into the story.
So Unplugged CNY. It started when I was at college. I remember I was walking outside and I was seeing multiple students, and I would see day after day, I would see all these students on their phone as they're walking. And I questioned myself and I was like, hey, why are they doing that? What are they doing? Are they texting? Are they going on social media? Are they Snapchatting? Like, what are they doing and why are they doing it when they're walking around campus and they're running into things, right? I had a couple of them actually run into me.
Like while they were staring at their phone, right?
While they're staring, right? Yeah, they're literally like this on their phone walking, and they walk right into me. And I'm like, okay, how can I get this message across to the country and, to pretty much anybody that, I can connect with? How can I get them to understand that this is a real issue that's actually going on? So one day I was walking to one of my classes, and this chick actually bumped into me. And I was like, what the heck? And she was on her phone. So I said, you know what? This is it. So I went on Facebook. I typed up this long thing, which you can see on my Facebook account. And basically the idea in the beginning was every like and share I get, I would take 5 minutes away from my phone. After probably 3 to 4 hours, I got over 65 likes and 5 shares. And I was like, all right, this is going to blow up to a bigger level. So now I have to come up with, what's it mean? Like, I got to come up with a name. So I got the name from somebody in my history. It was actually business policy class, Sean Wynn. I'll give him credit for that. And he said, why don't you call it Unplugged? Because you're unplugging from everything, right? So you should call it Unplugged. And I was like, all right. And then we also talked about, like, how do we connect it with Syracuse? So I said, why don't we do Unplugged CNY?
Right.
And he kind of pitched it to me. And I was
like Central New York?
Like Central New York. So you can take this and you can use this business model, and and you can make it in any other city, right? So you could do Unplugged Boston, or Unplugged BC, Unplugged NYC. You could kind of change it over. So I was like, all right, that's a great idea. So I went up and I put a few more posts up, which you just showed on the website, and I just basically started using social media to get my message out that I was not going to be on my phone or using social media.
Okay.
It got to a point where, like I said, I was not able to, the likes and the shares, because I put it on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And after I tallied all those up, it was plus 24 hours. So I changed the business model, and I basically said, one day I'm going to go without my phone. This day I will not use my phone at all. I will just go free without my phone. And what we're going to do during the day is we're going to have certain events throughout the day. But at the end of the day, we're going to have a big event. And that's how Unplugged CNY event started at Benjamin's. I reached out to the owner of Benjamin's. His name is Nick Falcone.
Again, for Benjamin's, that's the event venue that you guys were using?
Yep.
Okay.
It was the event venue, and I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, this is what my idea is." And it was probably about, I think I started this late September, and then in October 1st, 2017, my life changed completely. Not just my life, my sister, my family, my brother, everybody that was part of my family, their whole life changed, and we lost our dad.
Wow.
My dad, he took his own life, and we, at that point, needed to come together as a family. So if you see the gap in the Unplugged CNY website, you'll see that I didn't post anything for 2 to 3 weeks. It was from October 1st all the way up until probably when I got back to Syracuse in end of October. And I kind of realized,
September to November. There's no post until November 3rd.
There isn't. Yeah. So I was like, what can I do to give back? And what kind of tribute can we make? What kind of tribute can I put together to give back, not only to my dad, but to give back to people that have lost other people to the suicide and to, losing family members and death in general. And that's when I came up with the idea of starting the event at Benjamin's. And that's when I came up with the idea of giving to the Suicide Prevention and Retinitis Pigmentosa Fund. And the Retinitis Pigmentosa Foundation.
Yeah, and I've never heard this. The whole retinitis
Pigmentosa Foundation. So it's an eye disease that started in Ireland with basically 3 daughters, and it transferred over to multiple families. I'm 50% Irish, and my dad was as well.
I'm with you, brother.
And, we, in our family, my dad's side, we have that disease. And it affects people that are close to my heart. It affects people in our family, and it's been a big thing. So my idea, and I've coming from the non-for-profit world before starting together now with 2 of my business partners, I realized that I could give back to this foundation monetarily. So my idea turned into having an event to actually making shirts and selling things so I can give real money back to these 2 foundations that are so important.
The right way to monetize. If you're gonna monetize, do it for a purpose.
Yep. So that's how it kind of grew. And marketing wise, I just kind of reached out to everybody I knew. I reached out to all my friends and family. I grew a team. My team consisted of 3 people, and we just kind of put this team together, and we came up with good ideas of how to sell the event, and we came up with posting ideas, and we came up with other marketing plans and ideas so we could get people to do this event. And the event turned out to be pretty successful. It was about 40 people that came.
Wait, for your first event?
First event, we raised over $650.
And how long did your page exist? I'm just giving you some of the marketing stuff behind this.
It was about from November 3rd. I don't know exactly when I started the event. I'm guessing probably.
The page itself, the Unplugged CNY.
3 months. 3 months. We have about 230 likes, I think, over 3 months.
Yeah. Good grassroots.
Yeah. And the event, we had to plan that in 3 weeks.
There you go.
Because I reached out
September.
to Benjamin's. Yeah, I reached out to Benjamin's and I said, hey, when should we do that? And he's like, December 9th will be ideal. And I'm like, well, it's now mid-November. Like, you're saying I have to put this together in 3 weeks? That's inviting everyone, buying the shirts, getting the raffle and the sponsors. So it was a lot of work in 3 weeks. And I dedicate all that work to my team, because my team, I couldn't have done it without them. They were all amazing during that time.
Well, and I love this share that you're talking about right now, because again, I'm currently scrolling through your post history just to reinforce the fact that, yeah, dude, you literally launched like you posted the profile photo and the cover image in September, and we're talking right now in mid-December. So it's like, it's literally been 3 months. And the fact that you guys built a grassroots event, and I've done years of charity work. That's another reason why you and I have connected. I truly believe that the law of an attraction does exist, right? Like, people with like minds will attract. And we'll connect and hopefully give back to each other. And that's what we're trying to do today. And I love the fact that you guys put in this freaking hustle in over 90 days. I don't think people understand the value of like how many people launch events, like big ticket events. And sometimes if it's your first one, they don't get 40 people. And you guys did this in the interest of not-for-profit activities to give back. And that's a strong first showing, man. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that comes down to the ability to network properly. I moved to Syracuse. I don't know a single person, but I met so many people when I was here. And I think people in general want to give back. And when it comes from a person that they see has been through something, it becomes a little bit easier to give back to them. And there's a cause behind it. So
I like that. And
this painting, actually,
dude, your cover image, I didn't click on it until just now. Like, I saw it at the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, did one of his team make this? Like, I love this.
This was actually an artist. I don't know his last
real
name.
quick, to our listeners, like, describe to them what they're hearing. Like, because they don't see this unless they're on YouTube.
Okay, so what the image that you're seeing right now is a guy ripping a clock and playing tug of war with a clock.
This guy, real quick, the guy is on a cliff. And he's holding on to the edge of a giant clock, like fighting. His legs are engaged. His quads are engaged. Like, it looks like somebody's trying to rip it out of his hands, and he's throwing his entire body weight behind it to hold on to that time, hold on to that clock. And then there's three things ripping it out of his hand.
Right. I love the image.
Yeah. Is that the WhatsApp logo?
That is the WhatsApp logo, yeah. Which I thought was kind of crazy, because that doesn't really tie into the social.
We talked about that at the bar. Like, Facebook makes sense here in the USA. Instagram makes sense here in the USA. Even Twitter. Hell, even LinkedIn. WhatsApp. Right.
It's all international.
It's totally international. It's become like the backup phone program. Yep. We used it when my fiance and I were in South Africa a few weeks ago. Like, that was the go-to thing. Like, down there, man, like, everybody talks about WhatsApp.
Yeah. Like,
oh, you got a message and phone call and tweet and message, whatever, through WhatsApp.
Because it's all Wi-Fi based. And this image, and I'd like to give him credit. He's probably not going to hear this podcast. Maybe he will. I don't know his last name right now off the top of my head, but his name is Paul, and the guy's from Poland. And I found this on Google. Wow. And it meant a lot. I was searching, Scott, for 2 hours on Google trying to find a connection from taking your time and unplugging from social media. And there were some crazy ones, and there were some ones that were kind of controversial. So I didn't want to put those up, but that was the one I found.
What were you searching for to find like a powerful piece of art like that?
Social media taking away your time.
Oh, really?
That's actually the Google. Yeah, that's a Google link that I actually put in. Yeah, and it popped up with a bunch of, images, and that was one of them that came up.
Smart. And I agree. You should, I don't know if this guy's gotten to the point from a branding or exposure perspective like you guys have done with your not-for-profit, but like I would hope this guy launches some kind of page or something. And he said his name was Paolo?
Pawel.
Oh.
I could get the last name for you real quick.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know. Admittedly, like, no, you keep going. Like, I'm the host, dude. You're the co-host.
So if you look,
he's got other art. Hold on, dude. I'm going to share this for you right now.
Yeah, if you look in his page,
I'm in Google Images right now.
He has a lot of social media.
There you go.
Yeah,
this is him, Kuczynski.
Yep, there it is.
Powell.
So you see the Facebook one where the guy's looking through the telescope, and there's like Facebook. I was gonna use that one. because basically I'll describe to the listeners. This guy is in a phone booth type of image.
Yep. There we go.
Almost like a telescope, what you see like on a submarine.
A periscope.
But on the top, a periscope. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Periscope.
Which, by the way, is another app.
It's what? Yeah, Periscope.
Yeah, Twitter's app for video.
So what you see on the top, it's basically an F. And on the top of that F, where the F curls over, is a microphone.
Yeah, like a big megaphone projecting outward.
Right. So I was going to use that image because it kind of looks like the guy is screaming his thoughts and opinions and ideas out to the public.
Well, actually, do you know what's at the base of that F? Do you see it? Hold on.
It looks like a jail cell of
No, like
dude.
A
confession booth?
Dude, that's exactly what it is. Hold on, I got touch screen. Dude,
Holy
he's
shit.
kneeling. He's
So
kneeling.
He's confessing to the booth.
And you see the bars?
Yeah. In the social media world.
That's a classic symbolism of literally this guy is begging and pleading at the foot of the Facebook F.
Confessing his sins.
Right. Confessing his sins or hoping that somebody hears him, maybe his brand. Like I could go all different ways with this. I love this guy's art, man. Holy crap.
The guy's amazing. I tried reaching out to him, but I couldn't get his email, but he's amazing.
Well, you can clearly Google his name now, and I will definitely, hold on real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to give him credit, and, if he wants to.
I want to find the original piece in here. I like this whole thing.
Well.
Dude, this guy is like a social media, artist. He's also got some other stuff.
Down, there's a really good one where they're in a bedroom. That was the one.
Hold on. This is great. This is great. They got a picture of a donkey with iPhones on as blinders.
Yep.
Great symbolism, right? Like, dude, how many people are walking around in New York City? You see people walking with their iPhone in their hand.
Yep.
And literally don't even see themselves crossing a street into oncoming traffic. This is crazy. I love this. This is a great share, by the way. I'm geeking out on this right now.
This guy is amazing. I loved all of his art. I mean, this guy was amazing.
And I guarantee you, he probably designed all this shit because he watches the US. Like a lot of international countries, like they're watching what we're doing. And this inspired him.
And social media is not just a problem. And using your phone is not just a problem in the US. But what I will say is, like, when I used to serve and bartend, and I was working at Lemongrass. Yeah. And I had this Asian couple come in, and they were on their phones the entire dinner. I walked over, and at that time I was a busser. I was refilling their water, and they were on their phone the entire dinner. They had probably 2 minutes.
Were they on a date?
They were on a date, and they had 2 minutes of conversations.
That's sad.
It's sad. And, and that's kind of my message and my thought, and, I guess my vision behind this whole thing is how can we, connect with other people outside of this device that we rely so heavily on. So. Dude,
I'm literally trying to write his name down on my dry erase board while I'm screen sharing. So, keep going, bro. This is awesome.
K-U-C-Z-Y-N-S-K-I. His first name's P-A-W-E-L.
Which means, hold on. I'm loving this right now. Let's do this. Hold on. Let me copy and paste his name if I can. So here's the thing. You guys are on Instagram, right? And this guy inspired art that you're using on his Facebook. Have you followed this guy yet?
I have not followed this guy yet.
If he's image focused, this dude should better be. Boom.
That might be him right there. Yeah, right.
That was the first, second suggestion that came up. There he is. He's got over almost 24,000 followers on Instagram.
So that's a great marketing technique right there. I should follow him.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're taking action right now. I just followed him.
I'm actually going to follow him right now on my phone.
Do it right now. Okay.
I'm going to use my phone to do this.
Listeners, while we're talking right now, if you truly want to understand what we're talking about, go on Instagram and search for P-A-W-E-L. That's P as in Paul. P-A-W-E-L space Kuczynski, K-U-C-Z-Y-N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, K-I, and then a number 1. You don't have to do the number 1. His actual @tag is Powell, P-A-W-E-L _, and then Kuczynski, K-U-C-Z-Y-N-S-K-I, number 1. You may not agree with the art, but this is not just social media focused. but all of his style is very, very similar. And
Yeah.
Dude, this guy might become like museum type stuff here, man. I mean,
This could be
style.
I saw him, and you just tell me to follow him. It's a huge thing. I'm actually going to follow him and message him too. That's the thing too. Like you learn
and
so
tag
much.
him. Tag him in your Facebook post.
Actually, I will. Once he follows me back, I will.
That's your action item from today? Because hold on a second. I mean, it's okay while we're talking.
Yeah.
Keep going what you're going to say.
So basically what I was going to say there is like, this is what I wanted to like let other people understand that they can do. Me and you are having a conversation and I'm learning things from you every second I talk to you. Right?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And other than looking at my phone and trying to be on social media or, like my friends' images that I've seen because I was there when they put the picture and they took the picture and they told me they were going to tag me on the picture, having a face-to-face interaction with somebody and actually looking up is such a huge thing for everybody. And they all should.
Especially the new generation.
Exactly.
There's let's be real. Let me be real. I'm not busting on the millennials. Or the Z Gen because that's my target audience.
Yeah,
this is a wake up call. My generation, the Gen Xers and the Gen Ys, have also fallen prey to this. And real quick, do you see the screen share?
Yeah,
dude.
So here's on Facebook, so
here's what you do. You see this right here, the @Paolo Kuczynski art.
Just tag him on that,
dude. Hold on. So here's what if I was in the admin on your page, I would have go back. Hold on, real quick.
I'll tag him right now. I'm on.
Right. So you always respect an artist's brand. So you click on.
I tagged him. If you look at the original post I put on my Facebook.
Okay, but since this is your cover image, I just loaded your cover image. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Again, I'm all right. So to our listeners, guys, I'm literally giving people marketing tips on social media right now. You go to the image because you already posted your cover. You click on that little triple dot, which is your menu option. Oh wait, it's not giving me an option in there. Oh, because I'm not your admin.
So what is it? I'm on it right now, pal.
You see what I'm doing?
Yep.
Oh, you probably can't watch me right now. If you click on your cover image and then it loads the cover image, okay?
You can do
and then you click on that triple dot option, which opens the menu for that image. And it should give you an option to edit the photo or edit the comments. Edit the comments.
Got it.
And you edit the comments. If it also gives you the option to tag, you also do a tag afterwards. But you edit the comments and say, thank you for your inspiration at the @ symbol. Start typing his @ symbol, and it should auto-load it from Facebook. And then like turn it into like a blue highlighted hyperlink once you like tab through it.
Pal, KUCZYNSKI, right? Done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and escape because I'm talking you through it.
All right, I just did it. Yep. Did it.
All right, let me refresh. Let me see if you did it. So listeners, right now we're literally giving you free social media advice because always give props. Always give props to other people. But also, especially if this is a not-for-profit initiative, because especially for artists, dude, they want to make sure their shit's not getting ripped off. Yeah, so you always tag the artist out of respect. You give them a tag, you mention them in a comment, whatever you got to do. And then there you go. Thank you for your inspiration. And if I click on that link, it should take me right to his page.
Yep.
Well done, sir. Well done.
I try to do things immediately. I don't like to,
Again, dude, we're carpe diem, bro. Just like we did at the bar that night. Seize the day. Yeah.
And maybe he has 565,000 likes. So, maybe.
And that's just Facebook. So here's the best part.
Facebook,
the guy's art.
He may be
trying to inspire and educate people to step away from social media when the time is right.
Right. Absolutely.
But he also understands the value of like, dude, he still needs to exist on social media. Mm-hmm. So I love it. Actually.
And that was my central idea of thinking is like, how can, and this is the key point too, is like, I don't want to say that social media is a bad thing.
No.
What I want to do, and I want to, teach and tell people is social media, you can use it to get a very great message across, but it's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
And it's not like, every time you put something up, how many times do you look at your phone and you're like, oh, I got a new notification. I'm going there. It's like, I need 150 likes for a picture.
Yeah.
It's more about like understanding that why you're putting things on the social media and what are you doing to send a message, And most people are doing it because they want likes. And that's not most people. I do the same thing. I'm not saying I'm not like most people, But my whole theory and my whole, thinking process behind this Unplugged CNY thing is it's okay. You can take a break and you can reach out to other people and you can get to know people on the street. And that's what I did. I actually, when I went without my phone for 24 hours, December 9th, I interviewed 9 people, random people. I went to the mall. One of my team members, Andrea Capodoli, she actually filmed and videotaped me doing this, and we walked around the mall in downtown Syracuse, and we interviewed 9 different people about how their phone affects their life and what they do if their phone isn't on them at certain points. And it was a really cool experience because we got to understand that there was a lot of different people that felt a lot of different ways about their phone.
So you know what I'm intrigued by this little discussion point is I think it's funny that we're discussing this right here, right now. And today, as we record this, that big new iOS update comes out from Apple. And everybody is shitting a brick because their iPhones are having a freaking heart attack. And like literally yesterday, my biggest client, she said in the car today while we were traveling to some business meetings, she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Yeah, my phone was telling me that SIM card couldn't be recognized after she accepted the iOS update." That was yesterday. And to be fair, though, my fiance's phone had a heart attack. She literally has a brand new phone in my living room right now. Like she came back from the store with a brand new damn phone because she's got a business to run. She couldn't wait. So that makes more sense, right? Like that's your lifeline. She's an on-call ER veterinary doctor, like for her business. Like she's got to answer. She's got to answer the freaking phone to save somebody's pet, her animal, the horse, yada yada yada.
That's what makes us as Americans efficient.
Right.
I have no problem with that at all.
So great point, right? So let's remind people that we're not chastising the smartphone world. It's an amazing invention.
Yep.
It has changed the world. I mean, we're not taking anything away from iPhone or Apple. What we're saying is balance.
Balance. Yep.
Yeah. Like I had to give her my phone, and luckily she listened to me months back, and she agreed to have me help her set up with a professional phone answering service for their company. So, because there's only 3 doctors. And I said, well, listen, you need a filter. Because up until that point, people were calling the freaking cell phones. I'm like, no. This ain't happening. I was like, you need a professional filter because then the phone service decides if it's an emergency or not. And then they paid your cell phone. You need to unplug from your business. And this kind of goes back to what you're hinting at for life, right? Like, okay, we're transpiring this back to the original story. Like, it's okay to unplug. I'm a huge outdoors nut, adrenaline junkie. Dude, when I'm skiing, when I'm mountain biking, when I'm rock climbing, when I'm skydiving, actually, if I'm skydiving, I'm not allowed to have anything on me, dude. I can't have my phone or anything. So, but like, that's a good example. But when I'm mountain biking, my phone's in my Camelback in my back, right? So if I want to stop and get a pic or a video, I have to stop. I have to take the backpack off. I got to take the phone out, and I'm sure there's a better way to do it. But the whole point is to remove it from my access so I can live in the moment, enjoy the conversation if I'm riding with some buddies or my fiance or whoever else, and just enjoy that experience. And don't get me wrong, I have a very busy Facebook feed. Dude, I have a shitload of photos posted in my feed. I got approaching 4,500 freaking friends on Facebook because I get around so much and I'm in so many online circles. So I'm the online guy, dude. Like, yeah, I'm trying to grow my brand. I'm trying to get myself out there. I'm doing more public speaking. I have a podcast show. So yeah, okay, my likes are increasing. My friends are increasing. But in the end, to your point, I have to reinforce what you're saying. We have to know when to unplug.
We have to. And it becomes essential. Like at certain points in our life when we're playing family game nights. And I'll give you an example that went back to when I was 15 years old. My family, my mom actually made, and my sister, I'll give her credit. She basically, they said that while we're playing family game night, you need to put your phone away. And at that point, Scott, I was 17 years old. I had a fucking Nokia non-flip phone that, you could dial and text 15 people at a time, but you got charged 10 cents per text.
Yeah, it was 10 cents a message.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nowadays we got unlimited text.
Now it's unlimited text, unlimited call, whatever. unlimited data, which is insane. But, and at that point, I was using that phone, and I would try to sneak it. And my sister would be like, hey, no phones at family game night. And I'm like, you know what? All right. But it's so true. It's
so your sister had to say that?
My sister, who's younger than me.
Wow, she was younger?
A year and a half. Yeah, year and a half. She's
little youth wisdom right there.
She's very mature, and she's a very bright person. And she kind of, she would enforce that. And that kind of moved on in my life throughout all family game nights. And that's our rule. We have family game night, you got to put your phone away.
Okay.
That's it. And I think that's the key. Like, it's not about putting your phone away forever.
Okay.
Because as an entrepreneur, I call myself an entrepreneur because I listen to this podcast. You told me to listen to podcasts. I listen to the CEO of Patagonia. And he has a very famous quote that he heard from somebody else. And he said, if you want to define an entrepreneur, look at a juvenile delinquent. Because they break all the rules. They don't conform to what other people want them to do. And they don't really accept no for an answer. And that's kind of, how it kind of happened. That's kind of how I'm looking at life in general. And it's like, it's okay to have your phone, but you got to change it up, and you got to be without your phone when certain people are with their phone. And
I totally agree.
That's kind of why my message is what it is. So,
I mean, obviously I was showing my hat. I'm a huge supporter of Patagonia.
Colorado.
I love, right? Colorado, everything, dude. It's a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. It's a lifestyle brand. We even make fun of it sometimes because, like, Patagonia's got more mainstream, and a lot of people buy it now for style, and they don't understand the meaning behind the brand. And if you actually follow a little tidbit of Patagonia and you see what they're doing in South America, and you see that they're actually helping people not just buy up the land, but return it, right?
Absolutely.
And return it to the people. That's powerful. Okay. There's not a lot of organizations out there doing that.
And he started not even wanting to build a business.
Nope.
He's like, I just want to build clothes that are reliable, that come organically from nature. So
a brand that he could stand behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
that's where it's at.
We all want to do, right?
So, and this is actually a good transition, man, because like we do have to bring the show to a close at some point.
I know.
I feel like you and I can rap for a while, man. Like it's
been about an hour, so yeah.
This is why I love podcasting, because you never know where the conversation is going to go. And I knew you and I would connect really, really well after our chat at the bar that night. And I could actually say you've over-delivered when it comes to, again, it just reinforces when I tell people all the time that age truly is only a number. You've got a great amount of wisdom already at a young age, and unfortunately due to life experiences. I mean, not unfortunately. We're going to go ahead. Let's transfer that to fortunately. Fortunately, due to life experiences, right? The loss of your father is definitely unfortunate. But,
yeah, right.
Wow, dude, look at the powerful shit that you're able to pull out of that.
Yeah. How
easy is it to dwell on the negative? You don't have, okay.
Well, I think
the negative is short term. What's the long term?
When you lose somebody so close to you for the first time, and it becomes something, and it's something unexpected, and you don't really understand why or how it happened or the method behind it, you start to doubt yourself. And what me and my siblings and my entire family went through was tragic.
Okay.
But when I got back from Syracuse, for about a month, I was in this cloud where I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know who I was, and I still had to continue on with my schooling because it was my last semester of school forever.
Yeah.
Which is
insane. Now you got that classic people post this on their fucking profile when they're not going to a traditional school. Oh, I'm a graduate of the hard school, like school knocks of life or hard knocks, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Hard knocks.
Hard knocks. Yeah. I'm like, dude, all right. Yeah. But are you living it? And that's what you're finally entering, man. Like you're leaving the collegiate. Now you're getting into the real learning.
Yeah. Which
technically you're already doing. You weren't just a collegiate. You were working your way through the collegiate process. So you're already living the hard knocks, so to speak.
I think if life teaches you anything, it teaches you how to deal with troubles, and it teaches you how to deal with things that will come up that you have no control over. And I think the key to dealing with those things that happen is understanding that they're going to happen not to only you, to other people. And you cannot let them burden you and bring you down, because it's easy to give up. And that's the hardest thing to understand. It is so easy to just say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm giving up. I'm going to be whatever I want to be, but I'm done. I'm not going to try anymore. And that was the hardest thing I had to deal with, because I found myself watching TV over and over and over again and just trying to stay alone. And I think that, the biggest thing that I learned in this time period, and I know my family learned, is that no matter what happens, your family's going to be there. And no matter what happens, you cannot let it defeat you, because once it defeats you, that's it. And you have to fight. I will never stop fighting. I will never stop giving up. I'm always going to push, and I'm always going to make myself better each and every day. And I'm always going to try to help other people in ways where I can motivate them to be their better self. And that's why I'm trying to learn from the best. And that's why I'm trying to grow my business. And that's why I'm trying to grow my career. So eventually I start my own business, and I can be an entrepreneur that, I listen to on podcasts.
Yep.
But you have to be humble. And that's a key. A lot of people, they start something and they get to the point where like, oh, I. Whenever I speak about anything I do or anything that I've started, if I have team members, it's a we.
And you mentioned that, and I thought that was wonderful with the whole not-for-profit initiative. You realize that, again, I give you props just for a simple 40-person attendance. I challenge new events with lack of legitimate marketing to get a almost 50, hell, greater than 20 attendance at an event. And this was the first ever not-for-profit activity. And I don't want you to lose that, because I think that's a great testament to not just having the right message, the right communication, the right initiative, but also the right team. And you brought that up from the beginning. Like, dude, it was a we factor, man. Like, you couldn't have pulled it off without having some like-minded people willing to step up with you. And I've always told people that, like, yeah, as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, I tell people all the time, like, yeah, it's just me and my company. But when I got something I got to accomplish that I don't know how to do or I don't want to do, I hire a VA or I outsource it to another agency, because technically that creates the we. Okay. Exactly. So yeah, I don't have physical employees. Hell, my client doesn't have physical employees in the HVAC. Actually, she just have one or two. But she outsources to me. She needs me on her team to help her grow her company. It's teamwork, man. Like, there's that classic statement: teamwork makes the dream work.
And if I could speak to any future entrepreneur,
yeah, good timing, by the way, because you still got to give us some final words of the episode.
So this would be
great. Yeah.
If I could speak to any entrepreneur or future business owner, you are going to deal with situations that you're not going to be familiar with. You're going to have people come and join your team, and they're going to leave you because of personal issues. They're going to leave you because of they don't like the way you run things. They're going to leave you because you're the boss and they don't believe in your message. The most important thing that you have to understand is that it comes from here, but what makes it grow is from your heart. And the passion that you have drives the success of your business. And that is all that will drive you to be successful. And you can't give up. You lose a person, you gain another person. It happens. It's happened to me multiple times. You have to keep fighting, and I'll never stop fighting.
Well said, sir. Never stop fighting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Well, listen, hang tight. I want to give you a proper goodbye. Off of that energy, absolutely. I don't want to lose the pump. Okay. To our listeners, guys, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen one more time real quick. Okay. Check them out. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter, and they're on Instagram. Okay. So right here we got, again, it's at Unplugged CNY. Okay. Central, New York. Okay. We got them on Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and pop over here. We got them on Instagram. Yeah. Their website will be launching when?
I'm looking to launch a website in the next 2 months.
Let's go with 2018. Boom, perfect. All right, I love it. You know, not for profit. You're starting somewhere, and I'll try and do what I can to help you out with that. And then also in the screen share, if you're looking for inspiration and motivation, we have to thank Jonathan for bringing us. You know, Powell Kuczynski, dude. I'm gonna go. This guy's got his own website. It's powellkuczynski.com. So there you go, John. Like, dude, you gotta reach out to that guy. I would love to see you guys do some more work, and he's very inspiring, and it totally aligns with what you guys are doing. So I'll stop screen sharing here for John. But again, to our ladies, to the gentlemen that are listening, to everyone around the world, because I have other countries listening too. Thank you for listening to another Live the Fuel podcast. Again, follow him at unpluggedcny.com. Don't give up. Keep hustling. Get after it. And like we always close out the podcast show with, keep living the fired up epic life, people. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. And you're clear of the pod. Now it's just video, still recording. So,
so now you're good.
Yeah, I do the video as like outtakes and just let it just do its thing. I don't really care. Again, to our listeners that are seeing this right now, I do care about you guys and the watchers on YouTube, but I love to keep this more raw. It's more fun. Like, there's too much polished video out there. Let's keep it transparent. Let's keep it fun. So
people mess up. People they get nervous. They don't really know how to talk in front of people. That happens. So, you know, things happen. So.
Well, and again, now you say you could officially pop your podcast cherry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Are we popping YouTube cherry too?
Are we popping YouTube? Yeah, we are popping.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never done anything on YouTube or podcasts, you know, so.
Game on.
This might be a beginning, you know. So
well, again, this is all new content that you'll be able to add to your social media feeds. So
absolutely.
now
I'm
do you guys
that on the website as well? So
do you guys own Unplugged CNY like .org or .com or?
We don't own it yet.
You didn't buy that domain yet?
I believe we bought the domain, the Unplugged CNY domain.
Okay, life hack.
That's it.
Life hack.
Yeah.
You redirect the domain to either the Instagram or Facebook page until you have a website.
Okay.
Like, you could literally, like, what'd you guys buy through, like GoDaddy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna
ask my website guy right now.
To our listeners and followers, I'm gonna go ahead and do some hacking right now. Let's share. Boom. Oh no, dude! Unplugged CNY is available.
Oh shit.
That's not good.
That's not
buy
good
that shit, dude. It's only $12.
I'm gonna buy that right now.
Okay, you go to GoDaddy right now. You buy Unplugged CNY. Okay. Now, hold on a second. I'm literally gonna hack you. I'm gonna show you how I roll. Okay. Let me log in. I'm gonna show you how this shit's done. Yeah. Go ahead and validate me. What the fuck ever. All right. Seriously, like, just go to GoDaddy and buy that damn thing. All right. You got to own your real estate, right?
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of different domains, right? So anyway, you pick whatever. By the way, my fiance and her girlfriends got like really drunk one night and like, dude, if we ever had time, we should launch our own podcast show and we're going to call it Drunken Vaginas. So I bought drunkenvaginas.com
for $441.
No. That's what they're suggesting if I listed it for sale right now, it would go for.
Wow.
So anyway, that's a whole different thing. But anyway, when I have inspiration, I own it. You can't have it. When I have inspiration, like I buy domains. As you can see, I got a bunch of them on here. But right, so here's what I did. Check this out. Hold on. Here's your life hack. All right, let me go ahead and leave Powell. All right, my name. That's the other thing. Life lesson: if you're going to buy your charity, you own your name. Okay, so you see how I've typed in scottmulvaney.com on the computer. When I hit enter, what loads? I'm going to wait for this to catch up on your end.
Len's just bought it.
Okay,
that's my web developer.
Well, you should actually own that. It's your brand, not your web developer. Or is he a co-founder of the organization?
No, he's not a co-founder. So
technically, you've just given him ownership of your organization. It's okay. I'm not trying to freak you out, but
I'm gonna say I'll Venmo.
Did he already buy it?
He said just bought it.
Okay, but then he needs to transfer that ownership to you, which he can do, and then you set up your own GoDaddy account. So that's cool that he's looking out for you. So number one, okay, I feel good about your web guy because he took action right away. You said he's looking to get back in the game
within 30 seconds.
Dude, I'll give him props. I'm going to give him some props. All right. Here's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm throwing this out to you guys right now. When you and him are ready, if you guys want to do a strategy session, reach out to me.
Okay.
All right, we'll spend 30 to 60 minutes and we'll just rip the fucking lid off. And I want to make sure you guys have as much brain-blowing strategy to fuel the fire on what you two are going to do next together, okay? Because that's how I roll. Like, I'm the strategy guy. Like, that's why people hire me. Like, I blow shit up. Like, I want to get so much, juices going, but then give you some sense of direction. So if that's some value that you guys are looking for, I want to at least give you that as a thank you for coming on as a co-host and say, listen, man, if you want to have a session, I'm not going to bill you for it, man. Like, just let's book it. If he's serious about getting back in the game, I actually want to evaluate him for you, like, in that conversation. Because then what will happen? We'll have that strategy session, and then you and I will have a little follow-up call. I'm like, okay, what's my vibe on that? Like, is he ready to deliver? Now, to be fair, he's already proven himself. Like, if he jumped on it that fast and he owned it, I'm impressed.
Give me setup information for the domain, he said.
Give you setup information for the domain?
Yeah, what does that mean?
If he bought the domain, what does he mean? We
should be good, all right?
Yeah. Well, hold on. I
just Venmo'd him $15, so.
You what?
Just Venmo? Venmo.
Venmo, PayPal, whatever.
Yeah, PayPal. Right. I just PayPal him $15.
So here's what you want to do. You notice how ScottMulvaney.com went to livethefuel.com?
So it adds to your login information?
Yeah, kind of. So here's the deal.
Okay.
ScottMulvaney.com. I own it, right? And I have it redirected. That's what you want him to do. I want to set up a redirect to an existing site until your landing page for your site exists. So all you have to do is, for example, ScottMulvaney.com, I redirected it to livethefuel.com because I don't want a separate site right now. I want my name tied to my brand. So, for example, you should go buy yourname.com or some variance of it if nobody owns it. And then when you're ready, and it could be 5 years from now, to launch your own brand behind your name because you've built up enough social cred, you own your domain. You own that online real estate. I tell people all the time, like, own your shit. So maybe he's asking for this. Like, you see how ScottMulvaney.com.
Yeah, he's asking for contact information.
Yeah, see this?
So I just sent him that.
Like, this is me. You give him your name. You give him the stuff that you want to be public information. Like, you don't mind that if somebody searches that domain, that somebody might email you or contact you.
Okay.
Email, phone address, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, if he bought it through GoDaddy, and again, he needs to, within the next, they might have it on temporary lockdown under his name, but then in the next 60 to 90 days, make sure he transfers it to your name.
He's doing it right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just sent me a complete domain, unplugged CNY.com registration.
Yeah. So
there's like first name, address, city, state, zip code. All right, word.
So is your internet catching up? Like, you see you're seeing what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
All right. I'm in ScottMulvaney.com because I bought it through GoDaddy. Okay. You can either build a site, you can set it up with an email, but here's what I'm doing here. Like, this is actually new. This never looked like this. This is actually so user-friendly for you now. But let's say you want to connect it to an existing site. So I've not clicked on this yet. But anyway, you can literally do all of this. Here you go. I want to redirect my domain name to a Facebook site. So now this is I've not seen this yet. This is the nicest and easiest way I've ever seen to help somebody take their domain name and point it at something. You could point it at your Facebook account, your Twitter account. There's a lot of companies that don't ever actually launch a website page, and they literally use their Facebook page to be their brand site. It's something to think about.
So I might have to just do that until he builds a website.
Say, you know what, dude? To give you time, I'm going to let's redirect the domain name to our Facebook URL.
He got it. He already registered it now.
So he's already registering it.
Yep. It's been registered successfully.
All right. So let me go ahead and go back into Facebook. We're seizing the day right now, man. This is how we roll.
That's fucking awesome, dude. I didn't even know about this. Dude. Like, I'm kind of a wet behind the ears on this shit.
Dude, it's all good, man. I got your back.
I'm telling you, I've listened to these entrepreneurs, man, and I'm just
we don't fuck around. Okay.
I'm so ready to tell my story about 10 years from now.
Dude, it's not. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, with your hustle, it's not going to take fucking 10 years. Don't worry about it. But also be patient with yourself. Like, there's a combination of hustle and patience. Okay. So anyway, so here's what you do. Tell him to.
You sent Hostinger. Do you know what Hostinger is?
There's so many ways to host your fucking domains these days.
It says verify your contact information. So I'm going to do that.
Okay. So Anyway, tell him. with all this stuff that you're going on right now, just tell them, hey, are you handing over the domain rights to me? And if that's the case, can you still set up a URL redirect so it points to my Facebook page? Or do I have to do that? That's all you want to know. Because it sounds like he's transferring ownership to you, which is awesome, which means that you're going to have to log into some kind of site, whether it be whatever the hell he's using, what he just said, or whatever. But anyway, the point is your domain name that you're going to direct it to is what I just highlighted here. It's facebook.com/unplugged CNY. So that's where once you have ownership or he's helping or whatever, you set up a redirect and make sure that if someone ever types in that URL, it'll take them right to the Facebook page until you have a full-blown website that you're confident and happy with to send people to.
Done.
Now, there's another strategy here. Phase 2. Again, I eventually have to get off of the air here, but
yeah, I know.
Like,
Are we still recording or no?
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't give a shit. I love we over-deliver on YouTube. We over-deliver on YouTube. So anyway, here's your other hack. Phase 2 is
you said, do you have a hosting?
Yeah, it's always going to ask for that. Here's the thing. You don't have a website yet, so technically you don't need a host yet. You just need a domain registrar, which is kind of what he's using. So is that the company that he's using right now? What is the name of that?
He said I was going to put it under my hosting account, which can save money.
Well, yeah, if he's a web designer, he's probably using shared hosting.
Yep.
And so here's what you tell him. Say, listen, if you're going to start taking action on building the site now, then yes, go ahead and we'll figure it out later. But so here's what you tell him. I'm talking to my strategist right now. Okay, this will level you up. I'm talking to my strategist. And for phase 1, we just want to redirect the URL to my Facebook page. So tell him that. Just say, that's what I want to do for phase 1. Then we'll worry about hosting and a website. Because right now there's no site that exists yet. And if he's a web designer, he can build your site on the back end without even having hosting set up yet.
He said I can start working on it pronto. Let's schedule a call one of these days to go over the website.
There you go. See?
So I said right now I'm talking to my strategist, and
we want to at least redirect it to a live page like our Facebook page. Can you redirect it to facebook.com/unplugged CNY? Because then you've just added legitimacy to what you're doing.
Damn.
Because now you don't have to have somebody search for Unplugged CNY.
Now
you just say, there.
So every time
hey,
you go on Google, that's going to pop up.
Well, I mean, it's going to take some time, right? Like, here's the best part.
SEO and stuff, right?
I'll be the only one. Has anybody blogged about you yet?
No, not yet.
So I'll be literally your first Google shit because you're being added into all my Google results, and that'll help bring your brand into Google existence, if you want to call it that.
Because you're like putting my host.
Yeah, dude, you're going to be because every podcast episode gets an actual blog article on the website. You're getting a YouTube content. You're getting podcast content. And then everything is backlinked and hyperlinked into the blog content. And then if you haven't been to livethefuel.com yet, hold on real quick, since I'm still screen sharing.
Yeah. So
I'm not trying to overwhelm you.
No, it's okay. So if you go on unpluggedcny.com, will it redirect you?
Give it 5-10 minutes. If he's setting it up right now, it'll redirect. Okay. Don't worry about it. So here, for example, the guy just aired. This is a.
I should buy Unplugged though, right?
Huh?
New York City. Like, what if I want to bring this outside of CNY?
Then here's the thing. Don't go start spending crazy money, but now start doing the research and saying, okay, does Unplugged, yada, 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 exist in other forums? And then technically you could start buying all those domains and then park them or here's the best part. You don't need websites for all of them. You could, once he's got the website built, you just direct all of them to your core site. And then let's say you have your web designer say, you know what, let's create a landing page on the site for each city or each market. And then you go back and edit those domain names and have that domain name point right to that page on your site. So now you just have one big main site and all those domains drive traffic back to one main site. Okay. Until you guys actually need the reason to have all these fucking separate websites. But in the beginning, you don't need all that. You can launch every chapter and every existence from one site. So
gotcha.
just
So you
throwing
can,
that out there.
all right, that makes sense. So you can have one site to go to all the same Facebook page.
You could have, let's say, so check this out. All right. So for example, let's say you see my website right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you got home. Let's say home is Unplugged CNY because that's your first chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say public speaking actually says Unplugged NYC. And let's say my problems we solve, the next thing on my toolbar says Unplugged WDC for Washington, D.C. And let's say the next tab says Unplugged, let me see, what do I want to call it? Unplugged, what's another city? Seattle. I don't know what the hell the abbreviation of Seattle is. Yeah. Maybe you call it Unplugged Seattle.
Washington or something, yeah.
Right. So it's Unplugged Seattle, Unplugged San Fran, Unplugged Denver,
Unplugged New Hampshire.
Right. Whatever. The point is maybe all of those go across your toolbar, but you buy each of those URLs, and if someone ever types in that URL, it goes to that page on your website, and everything's being driven to one main website.
So they would have to buy that URL from me if they want to use that.
Well, you should own all the URLs, because if you end up licensing out your brand and what you're building as a system to launch chapters in other cities, then they basically lease the rights to that domain and that section of your site. And then if they grow big enough, then it justifies a separate website. Then you help them figure that out too. This is a whole different level of fucking strategy and consultation. So
yeah, you're giving me a bunch of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to blow your brain out, but that's literally what you could take it to. It's a whole different fucking level.
Well, I didn't even think about, think about doing the Unplugged CNY. Like, I was like, all right, it's on Facebook. Fuck it, you know?
Right. And that's
how many people are going to search it in the next 2 weeks? You know,
it all depends on where you're going to go.
You never know, because people could see my Facebook and be like, oh, did he buy this yet?
All brand launches, I tell people, you always buy the domain, man. If that shit's available, you snatch that puppy up. Okay, you own that shit. That's your online real estate. And if it's a charity, to be fair, if you truly are always going to be a non-for-profit, you should really own unpluggedcny.org. But to be fair, there's
into a for-profit eventually, I think.
Well, then just stick with the .com and you're fine.
Yeah, I think.
And you can be a for-profit, not-for-profit. You can be a for-profit, not-for-profit. That's fine. But real quick, I'm still screen sharing. So here is like the latest podcast episode. So you got the title. You're on the website.
People like high level.
Well, yeah, this dude travels the world and is a multi-author, and he's a behavioral psychologist. Jesus. I get them all.
I feel like I'm like the lowest level. So
no, dude, trust me. Don't worry about it. Fucking level.
I feel like we had a good one though. That was
mindset. It's mindset. It's mindset. Yeah, all right. Was fun. I feel. But then you scroll down, and I'll incorporate your bio.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that for a second, and then I'll do some timestamps, like different spots in the show, because I have a recorder built into the website. So literally, you can listen to it right from the website. You don't even need the podcast app, because if people click on these little timestamp scripts here, it'll take them back into that integrated player on the website, and they can listen right from the website from that specific timestamp. So I'll call out specific spots in the podcast episode that I think, are worth mentioning. And then I'll throw in like a quote, maybe a little tweet link. So if you click on tweet, this will actually tweet whatever I just wrote here into Twitter. Gotcha. Here's your embedded YouTube. So you get an embedded YouTube feed, what we recorded tonight, which we're still recording. Okay. And then here's the Google magic. I include all of the backlinks to whatever the fuck you gave me, right? So every piece of Isaiah's brand is backlinked on here. Google likes websites backlinking and talking to each other. So if you can help Google connect the dots between two brands, two people, etc., they like that shit. So quick little SEO trick. And then anybody else we talk about, like one of my best practices is using the book StrengthsFinder 2.0. So I included that because we talked about that on the show. But if I name drop anybody else, I include that. And then I include your final words, which will be scripted here. But anyway, so there's plenty of keyword recognition.
You're going to have final words?
Yeah. Everything you said, some people just leave a short script like he did. Some people start rapping like a whole paragraph. So I include, again, the more keywords.
I busted a whole paragraph.
That's fine. The more keywords people give, the more content you get, right? Okay. And then, just like in YouTube, there's tags. So whatever tags I feel this episode represents, I tag that shit. And again, that's more keyword recognition because these are tags.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in YouTube, I list tags. It's a whole different consultation. But anyway, all this shit happens. So you're getting all that shit on my website once your episode goes live.
It's crazy.
So like before your site even exists, this shit exists. The best part is now you guys bought the domain, I can at least backlink. I can include a link to your website, right? So for now, it's going to link to Facebook. But then eventually one day you'll have a website, right? So this blog article is not going anywhere. So as it gets recognized in Google and you keep doing your events and getting your name out there and people start searching for Unplugged CNY, and if my website and my article comes up, which it will before you do, because that's just the way Google works, because I had got you out there first, they'll see a link to Unplugged CNY and they'll click on it. And currently today, it will eventually go to Facebook, but then eventually that will go to your website. So
because of right now, my domain links to Facebook, so then
it will be, right. But again, because this article is not going anywhere, if anybody ever clicks on this article a year from now, 2 years from now, because I'll have your bullet points here.
They don't go to my Facebook or my website.
Yeah. Where, I mean, again, it's like
when
I have because I have him here at isaiahhankel.com. So if he decides to move his website to a completely different website, it doesn't matter because I'm going to click on that link and take me there.
And I'll take you there.
So again, we're connecting the dots for people. That's the point. So,
that's awesome.
And then eventually, I'll do one more thing to kind of blow your brain. Hold on. Okay. Here's something really, really fun. Now it's a little. It'll show a little bit more on my computer because obviously my brand exists on this computer. But I did this to a client the other day, and I was like, I Googled her company name in Google Images, and like 4 things came up. So I Googled Live a Fuel on her computer, and then I clicked images. All this shit is from my site. So all these podcasts, all of these people, every damn episode, like as you could tell, the podcast is leading the way. I have 2 blogs on my site, but most of my content right now is podcast driven. So granted, this little link right here, the guy mining for diamonds right here, that's actually from a blog article. That's not from a podcast episode. But most of all these images are all freaking podcast episodes that have been published on my blog. So yeah. Anyway, I'm still going. Everything is from this is as I'm saying, dude. Like that's a whole different little SEO trick. But I'm just trying to inspire some motivation.
So you've interviewed what, like 135, I think it is.
Hold on, let me load you into my project management system. So you can see where you exist. So I use Trello. Great app. There you are.
I can give you a better picture, by the way.
Yeah, because I'm worried about the narrowness of it.
Yeah,
you see how these are most people's heads. If you have a wider image,
I have one of like me speaking at my Together Now event.
Hey, if it's got some high quality resolution, let's rock it.
Okay.
So this is Trello, right? So everybody starts here. These are pending co-hosts, right? That I'm still have to bring on over the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And then obviously, like you see this category, you're into the recording category, and then I just literally will drag this slide over. Like this is how I track my project management just for the podcast. I have clients in this system too. This is just my board for the podcast. All of these people are being edited by my editor right now. And then I will move them into the next phase where I got to do some tagging and shit to make the podcast world happy. Then we get the show notes written out for the blog article content. Okay. And then you end up here. So here's Isaiah. So like I will eventually create custom graphics you will eventually be like this guy. Like you'll have your name next to whatever image you want. And then you'll have my logo and your episode number and everything else. So for you will be, I think I already tagged you. You're going to be episode 141. So you're going to be going out probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So
okay. Yeah.
Just to give you an idea.
All right, cool. What I'll do is I will post that.
Yeah, trust me, you'll get an email. You'll get notified. You'll get tagged, all that shit. But I'll definitely let you know when it goes live. So then you can start sharing, and it gives you new, pure content that you never had before. That's the whole point.
Cool.
So that's the power of podcasting. Welcome to it.
It's crazy.
Hold on real quick. I want to see, did he actually say, yeah, I can redirect it or no?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Hold on.
He said,
Because your Facebook comes up when you Google. Hold on real quick.
yeah, I just had him do it like 2 seconds ago.
One
So
second. So here you go.
said
I
transfer your
Googled
ownership.
Unplugged CNY altogether, and your Facebook is the first result. FYI. That's one good thing about Facebook. Okay. Let me see if it comes up separate. Unplugged CNY.
I just got another. Yeah. Yeah, it's right there.
Is this you?
Nope, that's
No,
Chris
Taylor is a different
Yeah.
Unplugged. So that's the only thing about Unplugged.
Well, you can't do the space. That's why. If you
right. But once you guys launch your site and you start generating blog content, there's your other trick. Start generating keyword recognition with the 2 words separate. You want to start trying to capture some of that SEO. You want it in both ways. Because when people are Googling it as 2 words, you still want them to find you. Okay?
Right.
But you're going to need to do that through blog content and tagging. So anyway, Unplugged. Let's see if how fast Google catches up, or the domain registrar. It's loading. Okay, so here, if you go to Unplug CNY right now, I'm screen sharing. Okay, you're on Hostinger, whatever.
That's what he sent me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's his host provider. He bought your domain through them. That's fine. He's probably an affiliate. No big deal. I don't give a shit. There's HostGator, there's GoDaddy, there's Hostinger. Who gives a shit?
Okay.
Point is, he needs to get that redirected. And once the online world updates and he finishes saving the redirect, it will eventually go to your Facebook page until he can launch some type of landing page or something.
Okay.
So, and then your next step is, and again, we could talk about this. Like, feel free to find time on my schedule. We'll eventually have a strategy session, you and me and him. But really, even once he does have the website up, you got to start building your email list.
Okay.
I don't give a shit how awesome social media is. When everything hits the fan and everything dies, every business, every organization, every charity, the one thing you have full control over is your email list. And because those are the people you're allowed to email, but they have to opt in. So you can't just have a fucking like, oh, I'm going to email these people that I have on my iPhone. Okay. Yeah. They need to be opted into a list saying, yes, you are allowed to contact me. And it adds a level of professionalism. We'll talk more about that. For now, get that URL pointed to your Facebook and then talk strategy on the website. And if you guys want to have a little strategy session, like, dude, that's my shout out to you, man. I'll be happy to give that to you.
Okay.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you had a good time.
That was fun.
That's the whole point.
Blast. Yeah, that was a blast.
Life is short, man. We got to live it up.
I had a blast. So yeah, I appreciate you doing that.
All right, man. Well, and I'm glad we got to geek out about your brand a little bit. So that was kind of fun. I was not expecting that at the end of the call.
I know.
But I can't help myself. Like, again, I should be getting paid for that shit. And I don't care. Like, my buddy's like, dude, why do you keep giving that away? I'm like, because I'm a big picture thinker. I truly believe you give more than you receive. It will come back in full thing. And again, dude, your story is awesome. The not-for-profit's awesome. Again, you're a great bartender as well. So I was like, hey, man, I got to
make drinks on the side, you know?
Hey, that's life balance. Again, I've been a bartender. I respect it. So
yeah.
And I can't wait to stay up there again. So.
I can't wait to hear the podcast. Like, you know,
it's gonna be fun. Right?
It's gonna be a long one, but it's gonna be fun. I feel like we went over what?
Again, it's audio content. I was
saying an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, no, that's the video. I already stopped the
podcast
audio.
ended what at 1?
Yeah, I stopped the audio.
On the dot,
yeah.
Right?
We over deliver on YouTube, and if people actually feel like watching this whole video, they can. I mean, I don't care. We've actually, if they kept watching up until this point, we just taught them how to capture their own brand, launch their own domain name, redirect it to an existing Facebook page if they don't have a website. Like, I just gave away free marketing advice. So
apparently, he just did it too. By the way,
awesome.
Well, test it out real quick, but
it's probably going to take a few seconds for it to load in the internet world. Nope.
No, it's done. Yeah, we got it right here.
Did you just do it?
Yeah, it's Unplugged CNY. Yeah.
Boom. See that? And that little thing, doesn't that feel exciting?
That feels great.
When you walk up to people now, you're like, hey, man, just go to unpluggedcny.com and follow us on Facebook. And that's your tagline now until you get a website up.
Which will happen probably by 2018, like I
promised. And then all you got to do is say, hey, and here's the other thing, right? Here's your trick. Hold on, I got one last thing. I'm going to give you something more.
That's fine.
Okay. We're sharing, right? Okay. You're on your Facebook page. Take your Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. 1 second. You should be, let me finish this loading. All right. .com. unplugged CNY. Okay. So this should take me to your page, right? Yes, there you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever shared your Instagram to your Facebook followers?
No.
Okay. So,
I don't think so.
check this out. If I'm on your page, I'm not going to do this because you're an admin and it won't show up in your main feed. You have to do this. You go to write a post. You paste in that URL, hit enter, let it load. There's your profile. Backspace that out. I hate when people leave the freaking URLs in the comments. It's already loaded your profile. You can see it loaded something. So don't leave the URL in the comments and then write something. Say, hey guys, please, if you love images and you love following people on Instagram, please support us on Instagram as well and follow us there. Here's a link, right?
Yeah.
So think about something and do that.
Okay.
There you go. So
you just go on Facebook and you just copy the Instagram URL.
Now again, I'm going to leave you
Follow
one last
us on
teaser.
Instagram, okay.
You could do that for now. But if you feel like you want to post to Instagram more to show the lifestyle of the Unplugged brand and not have to also post to Facebook, even though I do believe in posting direct to both platforms, you can sync your Instagram to post to your Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I can do that.
So you could still enable that yet. And then
So every
figure
time
out,
I post on Instagram, I'll put on my
right.
Facebook. Yeah.
Maybe you want to launch a motivation or inspiration Monday post, and then because you can manage, you do know how to manage your personal and your business profile on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you switch to your business profile, and then you post a motivation Monday post, or a wisdom Wednesday post, or a fired up Friday post. I don't care. It depends on what kind of content you want to symbolize your brand. And so you got to think about a posting calendar and also something that's realistic right now, man. Like you don't want to feel like you're actually trying to work too hard. But also you want to make sure it really stands true to your brand, what Unplugged CNY stands for. Hell, dude. Oh, shit. You know what?
I should do like a Unplugged
You should be
CNY
repost. No,
Saturday.
dude. No, bro. Are you using the repost app yet? Have you ever seen how people repost shit on Instagram?
No.
Okay, there's literally apps out there. Like you can Google like repost Instagram, and there's different apps that allow you to literally, once you download the app, and then you have to sign into your Instagram account on that repost app.
Yep.
Then the repost app will pull the news feed of all of your followers. The people you're following. So if you start following, what's our artist name? Shit again? Paolo, right?
Yeah.
So let's say once a week, you repost a piece of his art and you start showing him that you're a loyal fan and follower of his social media art. And even though you're reposting maybe a repeat of his artwork, but you comment differently when you do it, right? Like we're so inspired by Paulo's artwork. This is our thought for Wisdom Wednesday off of this piece of art, or this is our thought for Motivation or Inspiration Monday, or I don't know, man. Like think about this shit, right? Like this is what you want to be thinking about, because then you get a theme. And then for the people who follow your feed, they know that, oh man, I got to check in on that because I'm due for my Wisdom Wednesday, or I'm due for my fundraising Friday, right? Not-for-profit shit, right? Maybe you're promoting other local not-for-profits. You can't always run all your events yourself. Maybe you're going to start creating legacy agreements or relationships with other not-for-profits, and you start feeding support with a mutual not-for-profit. I don't know, man. Like this is all stuff that you could be thinking about. So
that's what I'm thinking about. So like the June, July event that I'm going to do, I want to partner with 3 to 4 not-for-profits in the series.
We talked about that at the bar. Yeah.
And I think it's a great idea because I think I know the executive directors as well, and you get people and you get their network, and those people start understanding what your message is. And, to all the YouTube followers listening right now is you have to network, and they've
got a bigger audience than you.
Exactly.
Yep.
You can never think you're Goliath.
No.
I always think I'm the David.
And to be fair, though,
fighting Goliath.
We talked about this at the bar, dude. You could have 200 followers, but you might be getting beautiful, off the charts engagement from like 150 of your 200 followers. Whereas people could have 10,000 and they got 5 people watching their Facebook Live, something like that, right? So, yeah, don't ever count out yourself when it comes to quantity of followers. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. So,
all right, brother.
Scott, it was a great time, man. I had fun.
I promised you a good experience, so I hope
it was
I
a
deliver.
great experience. I'll come back, in a little bit once I grow this brand, and we can talk more too.
And I was like, dude, do me some favor, man. Like, if you start getting more and more in podcasts, like, go back and listen to some of the episodes and get me some of your feedback. I want to know what you think.
I'm going to listen to multiple of your podcasts when I'm driving.
Appreciate that.
You're on Stitcher, right?
I'm everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm on. I mean, your iPhone comes stock with the iTunes app for podcasts. Yeah. It's that purple one. I highly recommend the Stitcher app. I think it's because Stitcher too. Yeah, Stitcher was designed for podcasts.
Yeah.
And here's the best part: you can actually get into bragging rights. Did I show you my download stats that day? Maybe.
No. Oh
yeah. So once you start using Stitcher, it shows you how I've listened to thousands of episodes and thousands of hours of podcasts. So it's like, dude, if you think I'm serious about self-development and professional development, I just log into my app and show you my stats. I'm not making that shit up.
Yeah, you crush it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great app for that.
I gotta buy it. It's like $10 a month, right, or something like that.
Stitcher?
Yeah,
it's free.
You can do free, but there's other ones that cost, right? Joe Rogan ones cost money.
What?
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, you know what?
Some of the Joe Rogan ones cost money. I saw.
I might have bought the Pro this year.
You might have bought the Pro.
The past couple years,
$10.
Nah, dude. When it comes to Stitcher, the past couple years, it's been free the whole time.
Guy Raz, How I Built This is free, and it's amazing.
Most podcasts are free, dude.
I'm gonna listen to a bunch of podcasts.
Mine's free.
That's my new.
Yeah. There's 135 live shows up right now from my show. So
yeah, you're killing it. So I'm gonna listen.
When you do,
I'll give you feedback, and I'll be like, hey, I like this show. I didn't like this one.
Yeah, dude, do me a flavor.
Flavor Flav? Flavor Flav or what?
Flavor Flav.
Flavor
Flav. The one annoying thing about fucking podcasting is iTunes is still the big beast, right?
Yeah.
Even though iTunes sucks as their podcast app is terrible for podcasting. So this is not a shout out to iTunes for people who are still watching this YouTube video. But
yeah, we're still on YouTube, by the way. I don't think people.
But here's your hack. If you're launching a podcast show, you do need to get iTunes reviews. The problem with the damn iTunes reviews is you can't do it from the app. You got to do it from the desktop on your computer, log into iTunes, search for the fucking show, and then submit like a 5-star review. It's a total pain in the ass. So here's the other reason why, though. I don't have a ton of iTunes reviews because it's a pain in the ass. But the more people that can submit iTunes reviews, it helps rank the show higher in the iTunes world. And that's why if you start getting more and more into iTunes and podcasting and shit, and you listen to more shows and you hear people like, please submit me a review, it will really help people find out about the show. They're not kidding. Apple and iTunes does have a lot of power, but the only way to rank your shit up is either you're getting just epic downloads and eventually that'll just happen, or you start aggressively increasing your somebody who submits a review, because you only have to submit one review and you're done. Like every podcaster that I've ever brought on this show, I immediately go give them a 5-star review, and I give them a review once I've listened to the show because I'm trying to get back to them as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just there's some fun little behind the scenes crap with the iTunes world. So,
all right, well, I'll look into that too and give you some 5-star reviews.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you can only give me one, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well,
anyway,
anything I can help you. So
follow that artist, man, and start tagging him in some posts. I'd love to see what ends up from that.
Maybe I'll travel out to Poland and just meet him.
Who knows, dude? I love his art.
As soon as I saw his art, I was like, this guy's amazing.
It's vibing. It's vibing well.
Yeah. And he's got some good followers too. So
I connect with it.
Maybe in a little bit, we can get him on your show and we can duel or something.
Dude, if you end up getting a communication with him, totally recommend that, because again, I'm a marketer. And if he speaks English, I can't translate. But
we need a translator. Yeah.
Listen, I've had on the first ever world renowned blind blogger, and then recently I had on a deaf co-host. So that show takes a little bit longer. It was like 2 or 3 shows ago because I have to wait for the signing lady on her end to translate what I was saying. It was a very good growth moment for me because it got me to slow down and really focus on making sure that she was getting everything I was saying. It was a good challenge. So
Cool. I'll reach out to him. I'm gonna email him tomorrow and see what he's got to do. So,
well, I will tell you, dude, if you start like reposting some of his art once a week or once every couple of weeks in your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed, like, and comment purely about what it means to you, he'll eventually start seeing the updates, especially if you tag him in those using those @ symbols like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, Scott. It's a pleasure.
I had a blast. Next time up in Syracuse, it might not be till probably the new year, but
all right.
If you're still at a loft, man, I'm definitely looking forward to coming back there. So
I'll be bartending for a little bit. So,
well, we got to stay in touch. Like I said, seriously, when you set that strategy, you and your web guy, if you want to just geek out for 30 to 60 minutes, don't hesitate to reach out. If I can give you some value, I'll be happy to do that for you.
All right. I got your cell number, so I'll shoot you a text.
Yeah, you got everything, man. So,
all right.
And my scheduler is built into the website, as you saw, for the podcasting. So that's how I have people book my time for marketing shit too.
$75 an hour, right?
Yeah, you ignore that though for you. So
okay, I appreciate it.
I told you, dude. I'm offering pro bono. You're a not-for-profit. I can at least hook up a fellow co-hosting podcast guy for a strategy session, especially this early in the game.
Yeah,
dude, there's no value. Like I can't bill you for that shit yet. That's just not cool.
Not yet. Eventually, though.
So anyway.
All right, man. Cool.
All right. Well, have a good night.
All right, you too. Happy holidays.
Yes, you too. Take care.
All right, see ya.